Good evening. It is Saturday evening, and it's been quite a day. And I'm in the middle of making cabbage rolls at the moment inside, but I just noticed that it's like 10:15 at night. So thought, oh gosh, I would like to get this uploaded and completed for this evening. So while everything's settling and cooling off, then I get a chance to come here and talk to you. So on Friday, I attended Lockdown with Lizzie, which is every Friday at 12:30. Hilarapy hosts Lizzie Allen, the founder of Hilarapy, on a Lockdown with Lizzie hour. And basically, it's, intuitively riffing with nobody, because all she's doing that with is the screen, similar to this. But she has a unique, expressive way of connecting with her audience, and she pulls cards from the Dolphin. They're Oracle cards. They're from the Dolphin series. And so she asked people who tap into that resource to come on and say, yes, I'd like a card, please. So I asked for one. And the card that I was given was Raise Your Standards. And that was the day that I had taken, the first day that I had taken the comedy stand out. And then I started going, oh no, maybe the comedy stand isn't good enough. Like, what does she mean? Like, raise my standards, raise my heights, my vision for myself. And step into that place. And while I feel like I've been doing that, it immediately struck me in this place of, continually keeping myself small enough so that I don't take too much air, too much money, too much space, too much time, too much. And how much of a wounded place that is for me, about feeling like I'm always too much for a situation. I'm always too much for a chair. I'm always too much for a hallway. I'm always too much for a bathroom. I'm always too much for a bike. I'm always feel like I'm too much. And I'm going to stop saying I am too much, because that is not what I am. And how, life is so perfect when I just allow to frame it like that, that everything that's happening is happening intended to be purposefully put in front of me at the time that it's at, who the person that it is, what the circumstance is, even when I feel out of control and like I don't understand what's going on, or the immediate reaction of something that I don't want, and then it turning into the greatest gift. And how often that's happened in my life. But in the moment, I'm so dead set to stay on that position of, no, I need it to look like this, and I need it to unfold like this, and this is the way it should be, and therefore there's no room for any other way to allow it to unfold. And so today, I got an experience of just how amazing that could be. Today, I got a really amazing experience of just how synchronistic and synchro destiny and what part it plays in everything, and just trusting the process, reconnecting with someone who's always been important to me, but that, through lives and parenting and, the busyness and living on in two separate places, etc., it gave us the opportunity today to connect, and understanding today that I really needed that connection in order to fill in some of the blanks. And now I've got new food for thought, and I'm like, okay, interesting. Everything I've ever felt about that piece around food, or that piece around my weight, or that piece around how I show up in the world, I just have a little bit of a different nuance, and I'm able to just shift that tiny bit so that I can then start to evaluate through that lens, through that context. And I must say, it's kind of feeling pretty liberating, and just to own my space and own that this is where I'm at. And I don't know what the end result is. I'm not attached to the end result. I'm attached to enjoying myself on the journey, making a meaningful, influential contribution to society, into my community, to my family, to my friends, to anyone that I care about. And I care about a lot of people. I've met a lot of people over the course of my time in service, at the back of the room, and in service in program rooms, and in service at the back of the room with comedy, that I get to see people really step into and shine their light. And I love that I get to hold a very large container for that to happen, and understand that people are where they're at, and to love them where they're at, not where I think they should be. And can you imagine if somebody was saying that about us? You know, I'll love you, but where I think you should be, or what I think you should be, or how I think you should be. Not just because you're lovable and I love what is deemed by society as the good and the bad, the dark and the light, the evil and the good, you know, goodness. And those dichotomies definitely exist, but I don't have to dwell in those polarized places. That I get to dwell wherever it is that I find myself. And, you know, tonight in that discussion, it was talked about, you know, coming from within. And I sometimes forget that I know that, but I sometimes forget to employ that. And so I get into that place of stinking thinking, or I'm off track a little bit and I'm not feeling very good and the anxiety's up, and I think to myself, isn't that interesting? Here I am in this experience again. What was mitigating that in the past couple of months? Right, meditation. Why is it that you went away from that? Because you were feeling overwhelmed. Would it be a good idea to choose that again because it helped you, you know, overcome some of that, the initial overwhelm at the very beginning? Yes, ultimately finding a rhythm and a pace that I can keep up with, that I'm not strangulating myself with, whether it be for my wellness or whether it be out there rushing around in the world and, you know, being a part of and doing my part to earn my worth and make sure that everybody sees me as enough, and looking for that outside resource of, am I enough? Am I enough? What, is there something wrong with me? Please tell me that you love me. And ultimately, you know, what I've learned is that the best sort of love is self-love. The best sort of compassion is self-compassion. And those things, when I start and I learn and I process them and I do them for myself first, then I have the opportunity to give that stuff away in the presence of others. And today I really got, you know, everywhere I go, there I am. The feedback that I receive often is, Tanya, thank you for being an example of what vulnerability looks like in any given moment and just showing up for all of who you are. I really appreciate that about you. And yet those are the things that I go around making myself shameful about. Well, you're too big, you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that, you're too much. And those are conditioned responses from traumatic events that actually accosted my nervous system and that are now living as trapped energy in my body. And now it's my responsibility, my honor, to try and start to unfold those things and give them new life. Give them new air, new breath, new fresh. New, you know, shedding light on all of those things, because we can live in our past triumphs, our past mistakes. We can live in all of those places, but that's living in a place that isn't the here and now. And so I've accomplished many things in my life. There are many things when I got there I thought, this is the right, it's just another thing. Thank you, I appreciate it, but it's just one more thing. And so, and also getting caught up in that, what's next, in that heightened place of the ignition of new things. And ultimately, settling somewhere in the middle of all of that for self-love, self-compassion, self-admiration, self-bragging rights, baby. Because you know what? We all do things in our lives that are worth taking joy and pride in. And I think somewhere along the road, we got told that it's not good to feel that way about yourself, that we shouldn't boast or brag or feel like we're, doing something or accomplishing something, because that might make somebody else feel bad or like they're depleted. And my experience is, the more permission I give to myself to shine my light, the more I see people igniting their lights around me. And so I get excited about that, because ultimately we get to choose. So just in case you forgot from the last time that I told you, you're enough. You matter. What you say, think, do, feel matters. And it doesn't matter that somebody has an opposing feeling or opposing thought or opposing opinion to yours. It doesn't make yours any less valid. And we have to be willing to learn. because maybe somebody has an experience that we just don't know about. So be willing to listen and learn those things so that we get to live more harmoniously with ourselves, more harmoniously in our communities, with our families, and so on and so on and so on. And that's the ripple effect that I want to create. So thank you for being with me on Saturday night. So much love to you. See you tomorrow.